Goshen, a professional astrologer from the village of Nyack in New York State, and I'm passionate about in-depth astrology and getting to the heart of the matter. In this video, we're going to speak about Capricorn, Sun and Rising for 2023. So welcome here, Capricorn. Welcome back to some of you. Thank you for your support last year. Now, as we look at 2023, we see a wonderful shift for you. There has been 5 years of your ruling planet moving through the signs it rules, Aquarius and Capricorn. This means that Saturn energy has been strong for you, Capricorn, ensuring that you take on more responsibilities and that there has been a lot of structural change in your life, changes at work, changes in your financial situation, and really everything has focused around responsibility. Think about this. If your sun is in Capricorn, your sun is ruled by the planet Saturn. If your ascendant is Capricorn, your ascendant or chart ruler is Saturn. So whenever you are looking at a forecast or you're looking ahead, whatever you know about astrology, you want to understand the movement of this planet, what it represents, and how it is affecting your personal chart. So this is a very general forecast, and what's going to happen in March of 2023 is this planet of structure, Saturn, is going to move out of those 2 signs, the signs where it rules, where it can bring about responsibility or order, law, all these things. It's going to move into a watery sign, the sign of Pisces. And water has no structure. Water is freer, water is more fluid. And you're going to feel that shift, Capricorn. It's going to be quite notable from around mid-March of 2023 all the way through for approximately 2.5 years. And it's entering your house of communication. So things are definitely going to loosen up for you. There may be a shift of less responsibilities and moving to a place of increased creativity, communicating from the heart, being able to really have your say, whether it's at home or at work, and feeling less constrained by the very heavy burden that you sometimes carry, either in the family or at work or both. So that's a big shift. And we don't know exactly how that's going to take place for each one of you, but a way to work with that is to see the first 2 months of 2023 as finishing off a very intensive cycle. Cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and get everything in order that you've been working on for the last 2.5 to 5 years. So that when Saturn shifts into that water sign of Pisces, it's around the date of March 7, but it's a slow movement. So it's an entire week and it's a slow adjustment. You want to be ready for that. You want to have set your plans in place. There are other major shifts taking place in 2023. The second one is around the end of March, and you're also going to feel that, although that's a very gradual shift, where you have the planet of empowerment moving into your house of finances and self-worth. And that's going to give you a slow, gradual opportunity to transform things over a long, long period of time. We're not looking at a couple of years now. We're looking at many, many years. So all the way until 2045. So you will be having a slow shift to transform your financial security, to transform self-worth if it needs transforming. Not all of you need work on that. So I mention it now so that the subconscious can begin to understand that these are the changes you're going through. Now let's look at 2023 month by month and see how we can work in tune with the planets. The year begins with a lot of positive energy. As January opens, there is a sense of something comfortable at home. You're at home, you're not overworked, you're not overstressed. There have been some delays at work in November and December, some kind of a slowdown, and it looks like you've taken that to heart and taken a little bit of time off, which is great. There's a lot of energy in the home and a lot of energy surrounding you, good energy. And the message from the planets at that time is don't force anything. Relax, take it easy. The year is going to pick up steam as it unfolds. Around the 14th of January, you're going to start to feel that forward momentum. All those delays, all those stresses, something that was not going quite according to plan over November and December, you'll know what I'm talking about, suddenly starts to unfold. And it continues in February, and by March you're well on your way to sorting out any kind of issues or changes that you might have had at work, because there is a lot of change going on. And this change is highlighted in 2023 and onto 2024, because you're going to have eclipses, 1 or 2 in that house of work over the next 2 years. So that's good. It's stirring up energy. It's saying the change is not over yet. And we know you've had a lot of change at work. Since December of 2020, there's been an immense self-development taking place. Back to January. After the 18th, you're going to feel even more of a flow, because this is when Mercury stations direct. Mercury is our mindset planet. It's how we think. So when Mercury starts to move forward slowly, slowly, and picks up speed in late January on into February, things clear up. We start to begin work on a true level. I do want to mention February and March here, because as a world, we are going to feel certain testing energies, because this is when Pluto will be at that very last degree of your sign, Capricorn, when all the energies of Capricorn have to be understood in order that that planet can move on to the next sign. In other words, enter 0 degrees of Aquarius, which Pluto will do at the end of March. However, I want to stress that this is a slow process. So Pluto will be going back and forth over the next 2 years. So there are going to be certain times when we are tested. And if you have your sun at the very late degree of Capricorn, just before the sun moves into Aquarius, you will feel those energies particularly strongly. So as we move into March, there's a beautiful date I want to mention. Please make a note of it. It's on March 2nd, but always take a day on either side, because it depends what time zone in the world you're in. That's a positive energy happening in the home. So enjoy it, make the most of it, plan to have people over or to celebrate a family event around that time. And let's talk about the home for a little bit, Capricorn. You really do have positive energies there continuing on from 2022. Because in the second part of 2022, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, moved into that place of the home for you. And while there may have been some setbacks around November and December, as the year gets underway, that planet of hope, of joy, of expansion is going to be in your home for the first 5 months. So until May of 2023. So enjoy that. Maybe you are expanding your home through renovation. Maybe you are moving to a new home. Maybe you are welcoming in a new family member into your home. Whatever the case, there are positive energies there. The only caveat is don't expand too fast. For those of you who are looking for romance, March 17 to April 12 is a wonderful window. Venus, planet of love, beauty, marriage, fertility, will be traveling through that part of your chart. And she's acting like an ambassador who is paving the way for Jupiter, because Jupiter will be entering that part of your chart in the second part of the year. So there is the potential for a lot more romance as May gets underway, and there is also the potential for new children, getting pregnant, childbirth, moving on into that phase of your life. If neither of those is appropriate for you, Capricorn, this could simply show an emphasis on the children that you currently have. So really spending time with them in that small window, but also in the second part of the year. In other words, their activities might be expanding. They may be going to school. They may be leaving home. There is also an emphasis on increased joy, leisure time, and creativity in the second part of 2023. So can you introduce a new hobby? Try something new, even if it's not particularly creative to the outside world. Things like gardening and cooking are very therapeutic, and they can really help you with the stresses and responsibilities that you carry at work. It looks to me as if you've really been taking care of your health since September 2022, Capricorn. So well done throughout those months. All the way through March of 2023, you've realized what you really need in terms of diet, in terms of exercise. You may have had some setbacks over the holidays. You're not alone, but get back on track, because by the end of March, the energy that was in that house of health that was emphasizing you to take care is now moving out of it, and you're going to feel a real shift around March 26, give or take a day or two on either side. So make a note of that. That action planet is going to move into your house of relationships, and you'll spend April and May working on relationships, putting energy into them, and making sure that they have your due attention. It's interesting to note that around April 20th, there will be an eclipse in your area of the home. So this can shine light on an issue at home. Maybe someone is coming in, maybe someone is moving out, maybe you're shifting home. But whatever the case, when home and work are highlighted in eclipses, we want to pay attention there, and we also want to be open to go with some kind of flow. There may be a message that's being sent to you at the time that it is time for another shift, or maybe there's just a simple tweak that you need to do to your home work routine to make your life a little less stressful. So pay attention to that week before the eclipse. So the eclipse is around April 20th. That week before, take it easy, don't make any major decisions, and simply try to be quiet and see what messages are you receiving, where is there tension, and what can be released. Around May 20th, there's a real shift in the atmosphere, in the planets, so take that day as a day not to overschedule things, to lay low and relax. And then moving on into June, there really seems to be a focus on money that you get from other sources than the money you earn at work. This could be your partner's money, it could be tax money, it could be investments, it could be money you've received from insurance or from inheritance. Whatever the case, there's an emphasis on that area in your chart during most of June and into the first part of July. Pay attention to that. Is there something that you need to get in order? Is there work that you want to do with a partner that involves going over finances? Possibly your partner's finances are coming into the spotlight. It could also represent a time of deep understanding of your own psyche. Some people may go into therapy at this time, or you may be going deeply into a job that you have to process and work with the nitty-gritties of something. Capricorn, you are not afraid of really getting down to things and getting the work done. And this can be a very productive period for you. The other thing that is very active in July is there's going to be some emphasis after the 23rd or so of July, all the way through August, on hooking up with old friends or current friends, or joining groups, or going on some kind of trip or vacation with a group of friends or a group of people. So be open to that. You don't know how these energies are going to manifest. There certainly is an activity in that part of your chart. If it doesn't refer to groups or friends, you might be receiving energy from work in the sense of remuneration for jobs that you have done, or extra rewards for something that you've done at work. So I hope something positive manifests for you at this time, Capricorn. On into August, there is going to be a real shift into the house of proper work. So your vocation, what you do, what you're paying attention to in your daily life, and what brings the money in. September, October, a lot of focus on work all the way through November. I see you working hard. I see you putting the energy in. There may even be a little bit of overwork that I'm seeing, especially around September and October. So take note of that, and remember always to balance hard work with self-care. October needs special mention because there's a lot of activity around the week of October 12th or so. First, there's going to be an energy shift once again in that house of work, and then the solar eclipse in that house of work. So from early October, keep it simple. Don't let anyone pressure you into making an important work decision in that early frame of October. You want to wait until after the eclipse, which would be around the 16th, 17th, 18th, for any kind of energy to unfold. Often we receive more information literally after the eclipse, and we can make better decisions. There will be a second eclipse. Of course, they always come in pairs. The one is at the new moon, the one is at the full moon. So there'll be a second eclipse at the very end of October. That will be the lunar eclipse at the full moon. And that's going to be in your house of creativity, of pleasure, of children. So it looks as if there's some kind of balance that you're working out once again between work and relaxation time. How are you managing that? This is really part of your constant theme in life, Capricorn, because you need to consciously make efforts to have that fun time, to cultivate that pleasure, because for you often work is also pleasure. So these eclipses will highlight that, and they will help you to get that balance. Take a note of the first week in November, around the 7th. There's going to be a day of adjustment. Once again, a good excuse to not overschedule around a day or two on either side of that, and to allow something to sit with you, because after that you're going to feel greater clarity and greater energy. Hard work continues all the way until around November 25th, when there's a big adjustment. I see you stepping back a little bit. Either you're going to take a holiday at that time, but really from that end of November until January 5th of 2024, looks like a quieter time for you. If you're still working throughout that period, it looks like you're working a little bit more behind the scenes. Maybe you're not going into the office as much or getting out as much, or you're in the planning stages for the following year. But honor that energy. It's in a quiet place of your chart, so you want to pull back a little bit at that time. You want to spend time with family. On December 22nd, the sun will move into Capricorn, and that's my opportunity to wish you a very happy birthday, Capricorn. May 2024 be filled with joy. May 2023 be filled with satisfaction and beyond. It's a sacred day, that too. It's the day of the solstice. So what a wonderful way to usher in your birthday. And then it looks like that continued relaxing time for you. A lot of movement happens in your sign. You have action planet Mars move in on the 5th. It's all systems go. Mercury starts to station forward, and everything really heats up for you in the first week in January. So spend the first few days relaxing and get going as January gets underway. Wishing you well. If you found anything helpful in this forecast, please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow my channel, and I will see you next time. This is Fluffy, and I'm going to put him out now. Hi. Hi, lovers.